About a year ago I did a video on making just an easy wine, blackberry wine, and if you haven't seen that, I'll put a link to it below, but you need to watch that first perhaps. But if you've already watched that, I had a lot of comments, a lot of interest in the video, and comments about how long to leave it in the jars and how to strain it. Well, as far as leaving in the jars, 4 to 5 months and it's wine, or 4 to 5 months, you know, and it's alcohol. Probably quit fermenting by then. Probably quits fermenting in a few days, a week or so. But after about 4 or 5 months, it is wine. And this, as you can tell by the dusty lid there, was done 7/14. So that's this is almost 5/15. So it's about 10 months old. Been in the jars about 10 months. The longer the better. 4 to 5 months, and it's wine. But the longer the better. I think you're gonna make a better product, a more enjoyable product. So anyway, this is an update. We're going to show you how I strain it and give you some details on that. Let's get to it. Okay, I'm going to strain this. I've got a colander, and this is a stainless steel bowl. Actually, it's the bowl that comes with my KitchenAid. I like it because it's got a handle on it. I will be transferring it from here to something else, and the handle's going to make that a little more handy. So you want to strain it. Through the colander, you're getting the big pieces out. I'm not going to mash it to try to get everything out of the blackberries. I will move it around a little bit to get all the juice that I can. So the next stage is to strain it through cheesecloth. I didn't have any cheesecloth handy, so we're just going through a dish towel here, and we're going to start straining it. And this is the part that is kind of a pain in the butt. It does take a while to strain it off. So just pour it in there and walk away and just let it strain. Move your towel around, your cheesecloth around, because the sediment will kind of get in there and clog it up, obviously. And then we'll go through, after this is through, we'll go through some coffee filters. So after the cheesecloth or dish towel, whatever you use, you go through some coffee filters. I've got 2 in this, and the coffee filter, now I didn't show you what I'm using here. That is a funnel, a canning funnel that just fits on top of the jar. And it's the mouth of the funnel is about, or not the mouth, I guess that's the mouth. The bottom of the funnel is probably 2 inches in diameter, something like that. And as you pour it in there, the coffee filters will go all the way through. So I've just put a couple clothespins on it to keep it from going through. And you just pour it in there. And let it filter through. How many times you do that depends on how clear you want it. It's probably not going to get perfectly clear, but you can double up on your filters. Like I say, I've got 2 on this. You can put 3, 4. You know, the last time you do it, maybe have several filters, coffee filters, and it'll get pretty clear. But that's going to be the way to filter it. So here you have the final product. Again, not as clear as what you're going to buy on the shelf, but it all depends on how many times you run it through the filters. And I did it about 3 times through the coffee filters, maybe. But anyway, this is one way to do it, one way to strain it. If you have a lot, if you did several jars, you may want to strain it a different way. And I will show you how to do that right now. I bought something called a Big Mouth Bubbler, and it's just a plastic carboy, but it's got a large mouth on it, which makes it easier, especially if you're doing fruit whole. If you're not putting just juice in, if you're putting the entire fruit in. And I am going to use it to clarify this wine. I'm going to leave it in here for a while, and then I'm going to let all the sediment, because there's going to be some yeast and sediment and some real small particles that are going to settle to the bottom. And I'm going to let that settle, and it also comes with The Big Mouth Bubbler comes with a seal. Does not come with the airlock, but it comes with a seal. Comes in 5 and 6 gallons. And I tell you what, this is going to be my preferred way of doing things, I think, is with the bubbler here. So I'll leave it in there for, I don't know, a day or two, and I'll be able to see the sediment on the bottom, and then I'll rack it with a hose just like you would normally rack a wine. I've got a clear hose with a little stop on it where I can push it and stop it, siphon it to bottles or whatever I'm going to put it in. I may have a little surprise as to what I'm putting it in. I think I'm going to do something a little bit different. But this is basically, it's wine right now. It's just not as clear as you want it. So I'm going to let this settle. But I've got the airlock on it. Probably not going to be bubbling because this is, I think, through fermenting. But just as a precaution, I put the airlock on it. I already had some airlocks. Again, this airlock doesn't come with the Big Mouth Bubbler, but the jar, the carboy, and the lid, and it's got a hole already in it for the airlock. Big Mouth Bubbler. Turn that around so you can see that, dude. Big Mouth Bubbler. I like it. My wife's gonna do something to me if I don't clean up this wine on the floor. So, strain it. If you're not going to use something like this, if you just got a jar or two that you did to try to experiment with, strain it through a colander, strain it through some cheesecloth or some clean dish towels and stuff, whatever, some kind of cloth, a sheet, pillowcase, and then go through several coffee filters, through several times of a coffee filter, even a double layer coffee filter, and just get it as clear as you can possibly get it until you finally say, that's all I can do, can't do no more. And then it's ready. Since this was such a big batch, I went ahead and racked it again, which means I siphoned it from the Big Mouth Bubbler to this glass carboy. And I tell you what, after picking up the Big Mouth, that glass carboy is heavy. But anyway, I had a glass carboy, and I wanted to rack it one more time. I want to clear it up as much as I can. So again, this is because I had such a big batch. If I was doing 1 or 2 quart jars or something, then I certainly wouldn't do this. Anyway, I racked it in here. I'm using something I'll show you a picture of. It's a two-stage process that's supposed to clear. I think it's called Super Clear. I'll get the package and show it to you. Two-stage process of clearing this up, and I believe it's going to do a real good job. The reviews on Amazon were excellent for the Super Clear, and let me just show you the package. Okay, this is called Super Clear KC. It's for beer, it's for wine, and it's just supposedly really clears it up towards either one, beer or wine. I don't make beer, so I don't know. And the packet is in two stages. It's sealed down the middle. So this part of the packet you put in and stir it in gently. Wait about an hour, anywhere from an hour to, I think it says 24 hours, and then add this side of the packet. So I cut the edge of it off. Cut this one off. Cut the edge of that off. Mix this with a little bit of water, an ounce of water, warm water, before you put it in. Gently put it in, it says, and gently stir. And then wait anywhere from 12 to 48 hours, and it should be clear. So I'll show you the final product, but I think I'm going to like that Super Clear. So I'm siphoning from the glass carboy. This is the one I racked into from the Big Mouth Bubbler, and I'm siphoning into these sterilized wine bottles. And I've got this hose that has a cutoff, working pretty well, but it's still dribbling a little bit, so I'm not going to be able to do this with one hand. When I cut it off, I'm going to have to cut the camera off, but basically it fills it up. This is the cutoff. When I squeeze that, it pinches it, cuts it off. And I'll let it get to about 1.5 inches from the neck. I'm dripping because I'm doing it with one hand. And this wine is very, very clear. I'll show you one of the clear bottles when I get through. Let me finish this up. You get the idea. I'll put a link to this hose under the video in the description box, the about box. And this is what I do when I have a large batch. Smaller batch you can just strain through coffee filters and stuff like I showed you before. But this is a large batch. It's going to be probably 15 liters. 15 liters is about 4 gallons, and it looks to have about 4 gallons in that 5-gallon carboy. What you hear is me clicking this, closing it off, clicking it, opening it up. So let me finish this and I'll show you the final product. And something I'm trying for the first time is putting it in one of these bags from a box wine. My wife buys nothing but the good stuff. So I'm going to see how this goes. I'll show you the final product on this. We'll see if I have trouble putting that cap back on, that spout back on. Okay, we went ahead and put, this is a 5-liter box. And we went ahead and put wine in it and reintroduced the spigot. That spigot is hard to get out. All you do is pull. It's not a twist or a screw in. You just have to grab a hold of this and grab a hold of that and pull it apart. And it's pretty tough to get apart, but it will come apart. And apparently it reseats itself real well because I fill this up with water. By the way, this would make a great water bag. I may do another video on that some other time for storing water. It does, when you push it back down in there, it seals. I'm just doing this as a test, or did this as a test before I put wine in it, to make sure it wasn't going to leak after you take it out. I want to make sure it didn't break some kind of seal, but it's doing well. And again, I sterilized with a sterilization solution. Sterilized all the jars, sterilized the bag here, and I'll be draining that, or I'll probably put that in my back of my car just for water, just in case. Who knows? I've got the corks sterilizing. Let me show you the corking operation. Alright, I have my cork soaking. This is a corker, pretty inexpensive. Open it up like that. Drop the cork in it. Cork on the bottle. Press down. A little bit of effort. Deep. Way to go. Another one. Corks were in that solution. They recommend, I think, 10 minutes. Cork. Down. Push. Done. So that's the corking operation. I'll put a link to that little corker. Cheap. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember what it was. 20 bucks. 15, 20 bucks. Does a great job corking. Corks are cheap. And let me show you this. That is a clear bottle. And look how clear that wine is. That is really nice. I don't know, the lights might can see a little better. But that is really, really clear. That super clear really cleared the wine up. I'm very impressed with that. I'll use that again. Clearest wine I've ever done. Sometimes it looks a little hazy, a little cloudy, but that looks nice. So I think that's the end of it, and we'll just finish corking all these bottles up. As you can see, that's a clear bottle, and I just want to show you how clear that wine is. I mean, that is really, really nice. Really clear. So that's super clear. I really did a good job. I don't think I've ever bottled any wine that clear. Of course, racking it the second time from the jars through the colander into the big mouth bubbler, letting it sit there for about 24-48 hours. Had the sediment on the bottom of it, then racked all of it except the sediment into this carboy, and I'm gonna be getting me another big mouth probably. I like it a whole lot better than this this glass. But anyway, and then the second time, this is when I racked it in the bottles, I left about an inch, just in case there's some sediment down there, and there's a little bit down there. You can see it or not, probably not, but yeah, you can see it. A little bit of sediment down the bottom of that, but that's what that Super Clear does, it takes it all to the bottom, apparently. Anyway, here is the final product here. I've got 12 bottles, and I've got one 5-liter box of wine. Anyway, this is the wine. This is blackberry wine. We're gone.